What's up guys, I'm the LokNezMunstr, and I'm here bringing you my next guide for Blue Side Fence 5's Impoppable mode. This time we are on the patch, and there are so many places, basically like 80 to 85% of this map are places where a tower could be placed, and it shoots at two different areas of the map. So a balloon slip by it, and they come right back to get shot at again. So to mix things up a little bit, there's a big pool in the middle. We're going to place a Buccaneer in there and put a free dart monkey over to the left so he can pick up any balloons that the Buccaneer misses. There is this weird thing with some towers like the Buccaneer and the Super Monkey, things that just shoot plain darts. If they're set to first like that, there's some balloons that have certain speeds that will they just go across the map at their normal speed, and you'll see it when certain greens start to show up, or maybe not since I have the grape shot upgrade for the Buccaneer there, but the tower will shoot at the green balloons, and it will completely miss, and it tracks along with them and fires, but the time it takes for their shot to reach the balloon, by that point the balloon is already past where it was when the tower fired. So you can see it. The perfect example is on maps like the lobby. If I placed a Super Monkey in the very center of that map, it could shoot all around like that, but it would miss a lot of shots because against the head balloon, and especially if the head balloon is a little further along than the rest of the pack, then a lot of balloons can slip through really easily, and that's actually what has caused a couple deaths on maps like lobby and clock and things like that have a round area, and it's the same on here when it is just one tower in the center of a straight pathway like that. But anyways, we've got our monkey farmer there at the bottom. I've got it just close enough to where it can pick up 3 banana farms there. This map is pretty bad in placement for banana farms. There's not a lot of places you can really place them, and right there I had to place a tack spike stack, and I keep saying how I hate using them, but I end up using them. But it's not a huge deal. It didn't really affect anything, and we have the camo upgrade for the Buccaneer, so we don't have to worry about that camo balloon. And the strategy this time is going to be revolved. It's kind of based around my guide for Full House, the special mission. And we're going to have one of these Buccaneers go the right pathway, where it has the cannon, and the other Buccaneer is going to go the left pathway. We're not going to upgrade it all the way to the pirate ship because that's silly. We don't really need that at all. I mean, it's useful and everything, but it's not. It can't take down a ZOMG, and so it's not all that important. We are going to end up just using vacuums like we normally do. And so because I was worried in earlier playthroughs of this map, Buccaneers kept letting balloons slip, so I placed the Spec Factory down there at the bottom. I don't think any balloons go over there ever again for the rest of this game, but I was really worried, and I didn't want to have to re-record this again. Oh, I apparently forgot what I was talking about, and I guess I did both battleships. Oh, that's because I have the specialty building that lets those dart monkeys over there pop the leads, and I was just placing every free dart monkey I got as I got it, just placing it along the side. And the cool thing about how wide these little placement areas are, I could put a village there. You see, it has both of those Buccaneers in its radius, and you can place so many vacuums around it. I think I end up getting 10 vacuums completely around that village, which is absolutely ridiculous. We won't be able to do that very often in the future, so we're going to enjoy it while we can. And because I often run out of things to talk about while I am narrating these, I'm going to talk about why I don't use certain towers. I kind of did this before and then lost it, and so I'm just going to pick that back up. I don't remember what I talked about last time, and because I recorded this and left it at the bottom of the list, I can't see what's up there. So I guess I'll start at the bottom instead. I'll talk about the sub here. I don't use the monkey sub, mainly because its popping power is horrendous in my opinion. The only thing it's really good for is it basically can have infinite range, and the big missile upgrade. I don't know. I don't remember which pathway it is, but it's if you go from 2-2 and then I think it's 2-3 is this missile that just fires off occasionally, and then the next upgrade is really expensive, but it's a super mega missile, seeks out the nearest Moab and just completely destroys it. And that actually works against ZOMGs. It completely destroys one ZOMG, which would be perfect on hard, but I was going to start using that for guides until I figured out that with 5 ZOMGs, the damage from that missile is dispersed among them, and so you can't actually destroy a ZOMG completely. I think it pops one into BFBs and then just kind of damages the rest of them. And I may have talked about that before, but that's why I don't use the monkey sub. The vacuum's there, we totally use that all the time. The engineer's right there. The only upgrades for the engineer that are good, in my opinion, are 2-2 and then sprockets, which I think is 2-3. There's no point in going up into overclocked because it's an ability that we don't really need to use, and it only focuses on one tower. And since my strategy revolves around many towers all working together, that's pretty pointless. And then the foam and that I don't know, like little trap that it can set up at 4-2 is just silly. It doesn't really do much. We do utilize the Spec Factories, so I'm not really going to talk about that. I don't really upgrade it because I think I mentioned this before. If a swarm of balloons comes through and makes it to the Spike Factory, it's not going to matter if you have it fully upgraded, because if they're going to bust through it, they're going to bust through it. And that's only to cover tiny little bits, maybe camos if you weren't prepared for them or anything like that. The helicopter's right there. The helicopter is decent. It's not really good at popping leads unless you're on a certain map with pursuit. That's the only thing I use with it is the pursuit upgrade. And the Apache gunship is really good, but it's super expensive, and it's not even with like farm setups and stuff. We wouldn't end up getting that until way later into the game, which makes it not all that useful. And plus, it can't handle ZOMGs on its own. It can only really focus on one major target at a time, so multiple are needed if you're going to do a lot of damage. The Mortar is next, and that thing is horrible. There's nothing, in my opinion, there's nothing good about the Mortar unless you have its specialty building, and then it kind of moves and acts like a normal tower. But then again, at that point, the only thing it can be used for is I think it's the flares upgrade that makes it fire, or I don't remember. One upgrade tree makes it fire 3 times as fast as it normally would. So that combined with the ability for it to target like a normal tower is okay. That specialty building really comes in handy on random missions where you can only use the Mortar and a few other towers. But other than that, the Mortar is not good, and I haven't seen anyone else who does guides or anything. I haven't seen anyone else use those to a good potential or not. The Dartling Gunner is there. I really enjoy the Dartling Gunner. Its specialty building lets you lock it in place, which is really good on any map that has a straight pathway, and there's a couple expert maps that are like that, and I may end up using that there, or I may just use the Dartling Gunner and just aim it with my finger. That's not a whole lot of effort really to make sure it's pointing the right direction. The only thing you'd have to worry about is upgrading things at the end of the round instead of in the middle, because if you click on a tower in the middle of the round, the Dartling Gunner is going to point at that tower, and that makes it really frustrating. It's better than in the past. If you clicked on the Dartling Gunner and you didn't have it locked in place, it would move itself. For example, if it was facing straight to the right and I clicked a little to the left of it with my finger to highlight it and be able to upgrade and stuff, it would point to the left. And they have since changed that. If you click on it at all, it doesn't move. But if you have multiples, then all of them will aim towards that one, and the one you clicked on will stay facing forward. And on this map here, real quick, we're using that same Arctic Wind and Glue Gunner strategy. I've got 3-2 Glue Gunners there, set to strong, just to make sure they coat every single balloon. I think they're in the radius. The Glue Gunners are, at least. I don't really need the Arctic Wind in the radius of the village there, but yeah, that's what's going on the screen. I don't think I change any of the other tower configurations. Everything remains about the same. The next towers on the list there, oh, those towers must not have been in the first village because I placed the second one. It's been a while since I recorded this. I recorded the gameplay for this a few days ago, and I haven't, and I'm just now getting around to recording audio for it, so I don't quite remember exactly what I was doing. The village and the farm are there. We definitely use those. The wizard is next, and I use the wizard occasionally. It's not a terrible tower. It's not a super great tower. I will be using I believe I considered using the wizard on some later maps. I may be confusing that with a sniper, but it's a lightning power. The lightning upgrade is probably the best one it's got, and that comes in handy a lot. The super monkey's there. I've used it in guides before. I don't usually use it because of how expensive it is, and it costs a lot to get it to a point where it can do a whole lot of damage. And I'm not sure what else is up there, but I'll talk about what I'm doing here instead. I was really worried the first couple times I played this. When I got to this round, everything went by really quick, and I had to multitask and restart. I was really worried that these guys wouldn't be able to handle it, and they can't because all those vacuums are in such a tight group that they're not that effective against the ZOMGs. But we still ended up finishing it, and that is Impoppable for the patch. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next guide.